I was looking for love in all the wrong places, creeping, doing my paces, creeping on chicks. Oh yeah, don't take a pinch.
So have you ever had the proclivity to get on Google, get on Yelp, and just destroy a business? Either it's warranted, it's not warranted. You might be a spiteful individual that wants to maybe crush the competition if you have your own business. So it's an unknown fact in Thailand. And actually people have gone to jail or have paid a substantial amount to get out of trouble, is that defamation regarding a business is once again punishable regarding, you have to pay financially, or they may look to throw you in jail. So something I want to tell you is that why I'm also giving you this information is the fact that you might be like, you know what? Because where this channel intersects is that I speak about medical tourism. I go into physical and chemical augmentation. There's going to be van life. And obviously you're seeing me nomadically move around Southeast Asia. So you might be like, you know what? I want to go to this place, 5-star reviews. It seems perfect. But the thing is that obviously we know no matter where you are, they can float fake reviews. But also you knowing this, let's say if you're from the region of Thailand, is that you're like, you know what? I hated that place, but I don't want to leave a bad review because once again, it seems that the business owners in a way are in charge of how their businesses are perceived. So what I wanted you to know is that you're going to have to do your due diligence, but it's going to have to be done in such a way that I'm going to say there's a lot of homework that you need to do. You're going to have to look at the Google reviews, what other reviews parallel that, and it's going to be difficult because in this day and age, especially in this region, the reviews may not be 100% valid. So hopefully you got something out of that. And now let's talk about this really quick. So now we're going to get into something juicy because I think we're past the 2 or 3 minute mark. I'm not 100% sure. Is sexual harassment in Southeast Asia. Now, obviously we know sexual harassment, workplace related. Is it real? Yes. Are sometimes the stories made up? So, someone could get paid 1,000%. That is a possibility. However you perceive the idea of sexual harassment really is irrelevant. But what has happened now in Southeast Asia, if you're following the news and you've been looking around, is that in the last maybe 2 years, a lot of people have been taking a pinch out here for sexual harassment. Now, a lot of you are like, well, isn't sexual harassment workplace? But now what I want you to consider, and I'm going to try to provide you a solution and protection, is what if things change in the future? Now, this is once again me making you paranoid. What if it's not workplace related and you're out here in Thailand where you're assuming that it's the Wild West, it's free love, and you can say and do whatever you want? And some of you are savages, let's be honest. So what I recommend you do is don't harass people, don't be a savage. But every time, because a lot of people don't know this either, is that sexual harassment could be you texting somebody repeatedly. And when it comes to sexual harassment, if you feel in some type of way, you can litigate a case. So then what it is that if you put yourself in this position, you're going to have to do the lawyers. And basically what it is, regardless if it's a legitimate claim or not, you're going to have to try to buy your way out of it. Because if they put you in front of a panel of your peers, normally, and once again, if you're a lawyer, please comment, normally they're going to side with the female party. So what I want you to try to understand is obviously don't harass people, but Everything you say and do before you send it out, number one, is you should try to get some type of proof that this person is interested in you. That means you're going to be archiving data as you go. Because what happens if you're unfamiliar is that everything has a digital footprint and becomes discovery or evidence. And this could be, you could be doing something right now that rears its ugly head in 3 years. In certain countries, maybe there's no statute of limitations. So what I want you to think about, since we're kind of like in the legal circle today of defamation, we're talking about sexual harassment, and why this kind of came about is that I was recently in Bangkok, and I saw like the signs in the BTS, you know, don't, no sexual harassment, this and that. So then I started to do my own research, and I figured that you guys can benefit from this information if you're not familiar. So what I recommend is that you archive your conversations. Now, to me, this sounds like a terrible way to live if you're going to be dealing with women or people. And this also, if you're a woman tuning in, it's the same idea, because when push comes to shove and they hand you a docket with your name on it, you're going to have to say, well, you know, your lawyer's going to be like, do you have any evidence or any text messages saying otherwise regarding the situation? And you're going to be like, actually, I don't. So now, could the girl be setting you up? You know me, patient zero. I'm a straight shooter. You could get into the news. We could go back. People are getting basically destroyed. Top actors basically get shelved by the studio because, once again, they're like, this was our guy, but this is very negative. We got to shelf this kid. So what happens is, what I'm trying to do is protect you, is that if your name gets dragged through the mud and it's not legitimate, at least you have some proof, because you're archiving these conversations, et cetera, et cetera. And now to get even more, I guess, more nefarious though, but in a positive way, is that you might have to line somebody up. Now this sounds crazy once again, but this is the channel that you're at, is you have to basically pin people into a line of questioning. Like, hey, you know, how was everything? Did you have a great time? Blah, blah, blah. If you understand where I'm going with the advanced interviewing techniques, because, like I said, and I'm going to come back to this, you may forget about it. It's 3-4 years later. And now another thing, you see it in every country in the world. All of a sudden, and since we're talking legal, I got you. Arbitrary and capricious, meaning that with impulse and political trends, the laws can change in the snap of the fingers. Then all of a sudden you get caught up in that whirlwind. So what I want you to do, just to recap, because this video once again revolves around legalities, be mindful of the reviews, do your homework. If you're gonna slam a business, you better have proof, because once again, you could take a pinch, or they're gonna look for money from you. All right, and then when it comes to this whole thing, and once again, I'm kind of glossing over, and I'm giving it a cursory glance, because I only could go so deep on topics, but the way I look at it, it's gonna be like this. You're doing your thing, girls are on the hustle, guys are on the hustle, you know, let's keep it real. It's more prevalent, more so in one gender, if we had to look at it a case by case. So now, protect yourself, understand that anything you do can be brought to discovery. Anybody can litigate anything. So now you don't want to get caught up, because let's say you do catch an accusation. You could basically say, hold on a second. I got a whole, it's my boy, a whole chronicle of the event that you have with this person. Because you know people, and if you know, unfortunately, everyone strives to be a celebrity or rich. But the thing is that once you have a lot, people might want to take from you. So they try to figure out ways, and And not to give you like a tradecraft term, but they're basically trying to honeypot you monetarily. All right, so coffee and juice. I hope you got something out of the information. And don't dismiss what I'm telling you, because especially out here in Thailand, some of you are going to have a newfound freedom that is experienced, which means that you're going to get real loose. And once again, I also have to consider that you might be a savage and you might be doing wild things, saying wild things. Watch the pictures that you send, because once again, it starts to line you in the path of patternized behavior that is going on. All right, so listen, be well, have a great day, and we'll talk soon. All right.